And then if you have trouble balancing, because it is leg day, we'll do some standing poses. So anything that you have around, even a wall or a chair that you can set in front of you when you're doing the poses, just so you can reach out and grab it if you need to. You might want to turn the chair backwards so that the tallest part of the chair is at the top of your mat. And yeah, if you've got yoga blocks, you can grab those now too. Of course, I'll be teaching in a way that I'll tell you when a yoga block could be used, but you definitely don't have to have one of those things or those things. But the one thing that you will need is something to use as a strap. So a belt, a tie, a towel that's long enough but not too bulky. Any of those things would work. Find a comfortable seated position where you can sit up tall. And that comfortable seated position can really look any way. If you're not really that comfortable sitting on the floor, you can find a chair to sit on. Having a bolster or like some sort of a pillow to sit on can be nice as well, or a blanket. Close your eyes. And just start to drop into yourself here. Just feeling and noticing yourself right now. How's your breath doing? How's your body doing? How are you doing mentally, emotionally, spiritually? It's kind of a lot, right? Noticing the energy that you have today to put into the class. Our energy is always in flux. You might notice how your energy changes as we start to move through the different poses and exercises today. Please remember to take care of yourself, take breaks when you need to, and always come back to your breath. And let your breath be the most important part of your practice. That being said, begin to deepen your breath now. Lengthening your inhale and exhale. Fill yourself up with breath and empty out completely. As you inhale, begin to fill up first your belly, let your belly expand, then your chest, feel your chest expand, and then the top of your shoulders, feel your shoulders rise. And as you exhale, feel your shoulders come back down, your chest softens, pull your navel in and up on the end of your exhale. And on your inhale, once again, relax your tummy, let it fill up your chest, fill up through the tops of your shoulders, the upper back. And then exhale, feel it all fall back into place. Pull your navel in and up, squeezing that last bit of air out of your lungs. And then start the process again, inhaling, making space to fill up. And exhale, release your breath. And then assist that release at the end, pull in and up. Now, not only through your navel, but your pelvic floor. Bring your tailbone and your pubic bone closer together and the two sides of your sitting bones. Feel your pelvic floor lift. Once again, soften and inhale, expand. Exhale and slightly contract. Continue to breathe deeply through your nose if you can. And I know some of you are familiar with Ujjayi Pranayama, which is victorious breath. And all that really means is that as you breathe through your nose, you start to place a slight toning in your vocal cords so that as you breathe, your breath starts to make a sound. The sound, it can be similar to the sound of the waves in the ocean. More dramatically, it can be kind of like what Darth Vader sounds like as he breathes. If you're using Ujjayi Pranayama, know that the sound is coming from your throat, not your nose. And that it's fairly quiet. If you don't want to try to do that, or you just are choosing not to do that today, breathing deeply is going to be totally fine and perfect. As best you can, you're going to keep coming back to this breath because throughout class you'll probably lose it somewhere. And that's okay. Totally normal. Just come right back when you realize it. You can leave your hands as they are or bring them together in front of your heart. If your hands are in front of your heart, press your thumbs into your heart. Everyone lift your heart up a little bit, lengthen your spine, and just do a little tiny tuck of your chin, bow to your heart. Together, let's sing the sound of Om. So you'll take a deep inhale and exhale on the Om. Inhale. Om. To open your eyes. Whatever you're using as a strap, you need to have it nearby. And then if you have any other props or things that might get in your way, especially like at the sides of your mat, you're going to move them to the top or the other end of your mat so that they're out of your way. And then lie on your back. Just start out by bending your knees, place your knees on the floor, and just start to windshield wiper your knees side to side. And as you do this, let your pelvis move, let the movement go all the way up your spine. You might even feel your chest move a little bit, your head. Just let that movement move you completely as it will. And then take your feet and bring your feet up toward the ceiling. Start to do some ankle circles. And then go in the opposite direction. And a few times you're going to point and flex your ankles back and forth. And then spread your toes out super wide. And then bring your toes all together, make a little fist with your toes. And do that a few times.
Okay, and then bring your feet down to the ground. Bring your right knee into your chest. Interlace your fingers around the front of your right shin or around your hamstrings if that's easier for you. And then pull your right leg in. Kick your left foot up toward the ceiling once again. Flex your left toes toward your shin. Take a deep inhale. Keep your right leg hugging in. And as you exhale, slowly lower your left leg. Watch your left toes as they go down. Keep your toes facing the ceiling. Keep hugging your right thigh in. And then you're going to hover your left heel just above the floor and start to kind of swing your left leg in and out. And then let your left leg rest on the ground. Take your hands that are more to the inside of your right thigh and just gently push your right thigh out to the right a little bit. And from here, turn your belly more toward the left. And breathe. Now bend your left knee. Place your left foot on the floor. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, and then bring both legs towards you. Take your right hand between the space in your legs and either hold onto your left hamstrings or your left shin. You might have to lift your head to get your leg, but then once you've got it, lay your head and chest back down. And you can rock from side to side here if that sounds good, or just stay still, whatever tickles your fancy. Breathe deeply. Nice slow breaths. And take another deep inhale and exhale. This is figure 4 position or reclined pigeon pose. Release your hands off of your leg and bring your left foot down, but keep your right ankle on your left thigh. Arms at your sides. And then start to press your right knee away from you. Flex your right toes in towards your shin. As you inhale, lift your pelvis. Okay, grab a hold of the sides of your mat if you have one and start to pull it apart. Roll your upper arms underneath you. And then try to lift your hips a little higher. Take another breath. Kick your right foot up toward the ceiling. Push your right heel up as high as you can. Flex your right toes towards your shin. Step more to the big toe side of your left foot. Last breath. Bring your right foot down. Keep lifting your hips. Press into the big toe side of your feet. Point your tailbone toward the back of your knees. Last deep breath. And slowly lower yourself back down to the mat. You can release the edges of your mat and once again go back to that windshield wiper movement. Just moving your knees back and forth. Whatever speed will feel good for you right now. Okay, bring your left knee in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers on your left hamstrings or your left shin, whatever you can more easily reach. Pull your left leg in. Kick your right foot up toward the ceiling. Flex your right toes toward your shin. Really push your right heel up. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, slowly lower your right leg. As your leg lowers, keep your toes pointing toward the ceiling. And then hover your heel just above the ground. Take a breath, pull your left thigh in. And then start to just wave your leg in and out. Let your hips move as you wave your leg in and out. And then let your right leg rest on the ground. Take your hands more to the inside of your left leg and start to push it out to the left a little bit. And then stretch there, breathing deeply. Turn your belly away from your thigh. One more breath. Bend your right knee, place your foot on the floor. Cross your left ankle over your right leg. Press your left leg away from you. And then bring both of your legs to you so you can reach your hands either to the back of your right thigh or your right shin. You might have to lift your head and chest to do that, but once you've got your leg, lay back down. If your head doesn't touch the ground when you go to lay back down, you could always put a blanket or a pillow under your head. And then, now that we're in this shape, you might choose to rock from side to side or stay still, whatever, or maybe a little bit of both. Just keep going back to your deep breath, especially as the intensity builds. Like, I know this pose can be fairly intense for some of us, so take care of yourself by breathing more deeply, more slowly. Relax your jaw. Try not to do the pose with your face. It's leg day, not face day. One more big breath. Release the clasp of your hands. Take your hands down next to the side of your body. Keep the shape of your legs. Push your left knee away from you. Going up into a variation of bridge pose. Press into the big toe side of your right foot and your heel and lift up. Just as high as you can. Roll your upper arms underneath you and then grab the edges of your mat and try to pull it apart. Lift your chin away from your chest and breathe. And take another big breath. Now straighten-ish your left leg and kick your left heel up toward the ceiling. Flex your left toes. Keep stepping strongly into your right foot. Another breath. And then bend your left knee. Place your left foot down. Toes facing straight ahead for a bridge pose. One more inhale and exhale. Really try to lift your hips. And then bring yourself back down. And one more time, just a little swaying back and forth of your knees. So that was the warm-up for the warm-up. So the next sequence that we're going to do is called the Supta Hasta Padangustasana sequence. And that means reclined hand to big toe sequence. But because most of us are not going to be able to bring our hand to our big toe, we're going to use a strap or whatever you've got. Make sure there's not a ton of like overhang that's going to hit you in the face or get in your way. So you might fold whatever you're using in half or maybe more times if you need to. And we're going to start in Supta Tadasana, reclined mountain pose. Take your legs straight out in front of you onto the floor and flex your toes towards your shins strongly. Push your heels away. Start with your feet together. From here, bring your arms to your sides and turn your palms so they're facing the sides of your hips. So the pinky side edge of your hand is on the floor. You're going to karate chop the ground a little bit. Now draw your low ribs in and point your tailbone towards your heels. Take a breath. Okay, so you're going to keep your left leg as it is. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Lift your head and chest and take the strap around the ball of your right foot. Hold the strap with your right hand and begin to straighten your right leg. So the reason for the strap is to lengthen our arm so that we can more easily manage having a straight right leg. Push your foot into the strap and pull with your right hand. And then remember you have a left leg. So press your left heel forward, flex your left toes towards your shin, and rest your left hand on your left thigh. Squeeze your sitting bones together slightly. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, lift your head and chest. Slide your left hand down your thigh. Take a breath. Now bring your head and chest back down. And start to rotate your toes out to the right a little bit. And you might place something on the outside of your thigh on the floor so that when you bring your leg out to the side, it can rest on something. If you don't have anything, that's totally fine. Start to slowly lower your right leg out to the right. Push your foot into the strap and pull with your hand. As you lower, turn your belly away from your leg. Keep your left shoulder blade on the ground. And press your left heel forward, flex your left toes towards your shin. You can even try to stretch your legs further apart. For those of you that are more flexible, you might even bend your elbow and pull your leg up closer to your ear. That's crazy. Okay, big stretch here. So kind of countering the stretch by pushing your foot into the strap and pulling with your hand. No need to overstretch. Only go out as far as you can manage and still breathe. Okay, begin to bend your right knee a little bit and start to guide your right foot back up over you. Hold the strap now with your left hand. Take your right arm out to the side with your right palm facing up and slowly guide your right leg over to the left. Doesn't have to be very much before you start to feel a deep stretch in your outer hip. Press your right sitting bone straight ahead, your right thigh bone straight ahead. Push your foot into the strap and pull with your hand. And now turn your tummy more toward the right and breathe. Keep some awareness in your left leg. Push your left heel forward. Take another big breath. Now slowly guide your leg back up over your hip. Hold the strap once again with your right hand. Place your left hand on your left thigh. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, lift your head and chest. Bend your right elbow out to the right. Slide your left hand down your thigh. Make sure your left toes are facing the ceiling. One more breath. Take the strap off your foot. Keep yourself up. Reach both hands forward. And slowly lower your right leg down. And then rest. Lay your head down. And you can even kind of wiggle your feet in and out quickly. Help bring a feeling of release to your legs. Okay, deep inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Push your heels forward, flex your toes toward your shins, bring your legs together. Take your arms to your sides, karate chop the floor. Tuck your chin slightly, draw your low ribs in. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And bend your left knee, bring your left knee towards your chest. Place the strap now around the ball of your left foot. If you're going to use something to catch your thigh when you take your leg out to the side, if you used it on the right side, you're just going to bring it over to the left now. Have it ready. Place your right hand on your right thigh. Make sure the strap is actually on the ball of your foot instead of the arch. And then push your foot into the strap and pull with your hand. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, lift your head and chest. Slide your right hand down your thigh. Peek at your right toes. Make sure they're all facing up. Breathe. And then keep your right leg and your left leg strong. Start to bring your head and chest down. And slowly turn your left toes out, begin to lower your left leg. As you lower your left leg out to the left, out to the side, turn your belly away from your leg. Turn toward the right. And then keep pushing your foot into the strap and pulling with your hand. Stretch your legs apart. Breathe deep, slow breaths. So this sequence can also be done standing. Then it's called the Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana sequence, and you probably guessed it, but it's way flipping harder. We're not going to do that today. You're welcome. Last breath. Okay, slowly begin to lift your leg up. You can even bend your left knee a little bit to help out. And then hold the strap now with your right hand. Take your left arm out to the left, with your left palm facing the ceiling. As you guide your left leg over to the right, press your left thigh bone straight ahead. And then pull with the strap, push with your foot. And keep some awareness in your right leg. Breathe deeply into the stretch. Turn your belly from the right to the left. Relax your jaw, the sides of your neck, tops of your shoulders. Soften the muscles around your eyes. Take another long, slow breath. Bend your left knee just a little bit to guide it back over your hip. Hold the strap with your left hand. Place your right hand on your right thigh. Push your foot into the strap. Pull with your hand. Squeeze your sitting bones together slightly. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, lift your head and chest. Slide your right hand down your thigh. Peek at your right toes. Make sure they're facing up. Make your legs strong. Lift your kneecaps. And then start to take your strap off your foot. Reach both hands forward as you slowly lower your left leg down toward the ground. And then rest. Okay, we're almost done here on the floor, but not quite. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, right behind your hips. Your toes facing straight ahead. And one way to see if your feet are close enough is you can reach down and kind of feel the back of your heels. Your feet need, most people will err on bringing their feet like too close together. You want your feet as wide as your hips. So that could be sitting bone distance or outer hip distance apart. Okay, and then from here, press into the big toe side of your feet and your heels. Start to tilt your sitting bone up toward the back of your knees and then lift your hips. If you have tighter shoulders, you're going to hold on to the edge of the mat and try to rip it apart. Roll your upper arms underneath you. And if you can, you might try reaching underneath you and interlacing your fingers. Press your pinkies toward the ground. From here, step even more into the inner edges of your feet. Press your heels down more. Try to push your knees forward as you bring your shoulders up toward your ears a little more. Lift your chin away from your chest and breathe. Okay, you're going to stay up. Try to keep your hips lifted. We're going to do a little work for our hamstrings. Press your heels down and start to drag them back towards your shoulders and feel your hamstrings engage. Take a breath. Now walk your feet straight ahead about the length of one of your own feet. I know you can't see, I know you have no idea where your feet are because guess what, I'm doing it too and I have the same sensation. Press your heels down and start to pull them back toward your shoulders. So feel your hamstrings engage even more. Take 2 breaths. Try to keep your hips lifted. If you get a hamstring cramp, good job, you're doing it right. Excellent. Step your feet a little further ahead. Try to keep your hips off your hands as best you can. If your hands are underneath you, press your heels down. Your legs are far enough away from you.
Very long.
Oh my God. Push your heels down and drag them back towards your shoulders. Keep your hips up. Take another breath. Good job. Start to walk your feet back underneath your knees. Good. Lift your hips higher. Take a breath. Release your hands if they're underneath you and slowly lower. Then take your legs out in front of you and then just kind of quickly move your feet in and out.
Start to sweat.
Hamstrings. Those are part of your legs. Okay. Last little fun trip into bridge. You're going to take your feet like they were before, either sitting bone distance or a little bit wider outer hip distance, toes facing straight ahead, arms at your sides. If you interlace your fingers underneath you last time, you're going to interlace your fingers underneath you again with the opposite fingers on top. Step into the big toe side of your foot. That cue is so that our knees don't go out to the side or start moving a lot. We want our knees to stay in line with our hips. Stabilize your knees by pressing the big toe side of your foot down. Tuck your tailbone, lift your hips. Either roll your shoulders underneath you and hold onto the edges of the mat, or interlace your fingers underneath you, opposite fingers on top. Okay, that last thing that we did, it was kind of hard, right? So this is also kind of hard. Really step into your left foot. And you're either going to keep your knee bent and lift your foot off the floor, right foot, or you're going to straighten your right leg and lift it up. Do the one that you can do, and then bring your foot back down and do your left leg. Either left knee with your knee bent or straighten your leg and bring your foot down. Okay, so right leg up, step down, left leg up, step down, and keep going. Right leg up, and down. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step down, lift your hips. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step down, lift your hips. Inhale, left leg up. Remember to step into the big toe side of your foot. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, lift your hips. Inhale, left leg. Exhale. One more time, each side. Right leg. Down. Left leg. Remember, you could be doing this with a bent knee, it'd be easier. Lift your hips up evenly, squeeze your butt, press your heels down, press or pull your heels towards your knuckles or your shoulders. Release your hands. Come on down. Bring your knees into your chest. Either hold on to each shin with each hand or wrap your arms around your legs and roll from side to side. So this is also that you actually want to stand up. Because once you get to the standing poses, you're going to be like, I want to lay back down now. Okay, roll to the side and slowly come up. Alrighty. So stand at the top of your mat or your yoga space, whatever you've got going on. With your arms at your sides, squeeze the bottom tip of your shoulder blades together, and turn your palms forward slightly. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Bring your palms together overhead and look up. Exhale, bend your knees, lift your sitting bones as you fold forward. Bring your fingertips to the floor, or blocks, or a chair if you have one out in front of you. Inhale, lifting halfway up. Keep your butt lifted, knees bent. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. So in down dog, you might have your knees bent, that's good. Lift your sitting bones. Squeeze your inner arms in and push the floor away from you with your hands. And you can begin to walk in place. So as you lift one heel, the other heel presses down towards your mat. When you're looking at your feet here, see how far apart they are. Should be outer hip distance apart. If you have a bigger body, you would take your feet even further apart just to make space and be more comfortable. So we're going to walk forward towards our hands from here. When you're walking forward, you might need to walk kind of out to the side a little bit wider, and that'll make it slightly easier to come and get closer to the back of your hands. Inhale, lift halfway up, rise up onto your fingertips. Exhale, fold over your legs, keep your knees very bent. Inhale, reach out and up as you stand up. Exhale, bring your arms to your sides. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward, bend your knees, lift your butt, drop your head. Inhale, lift halfway up, keep your knees bent, butt lifting. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. And take a deep breath in down dog. This time, bend your knees, walk your hands back towards your feet as you do really push the floor away from you with your hands. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale, lift your chest and look forward. Keep your knees bent. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, reach your arms out and up as you slowly stand up. Press into your heels. Exhale, bring your arms to your sides. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward, bend your knees. Inhale, lift halfway up. Keep your knees bent. Exhale, keep your heels on the ground this time when you walk forward to down dog. So you might have a shorter down dog than usual. There might be less distance between your toes and the back of your hands, and that's okay. Big stretch for your calves and your hamstrings here. Keep your sitting bones lifted. Take another breath. Bend your knees deeply, look forward, and begin to walk toward the top of your mat. Remember, walking with your feet out wide gives you a little bit more space to come forward. And then bring your feet hip distance apart. Inhale, lift halfway with your knees bent. Lift your butt and your heart. Exhale, fold over your legs. Keep your sitting bones lifting. Inhale, reach out and up. As you do, start to rotate your tailbone toward the floor. Lift from your pubic bone or reach your arms up. Look up. Exhale, bring your arms to your sides. Okay, bring your feet together. So some of us will only be able to bring our big toes together, and that's okay. We're getting ready for a chair pose. Start to sit back and down. And then from there, reach your arms up. Okay, so reaching your arms up in this pose can make the pose much more difficult. If it's too difficult for you, you can place your hands on your hips. Now from here, start to pull your belly away from your thighs more. And breathe. So we're going to do a balancing test here to see how easy you can stabilize your hips. So look down at your feet. First of all, if you can't see your toes, you're going to bring your knees a little further back. And then start to shift your weight to your left foot. You're going to lift your right foot just barely off the floor. Barely. And hold and breathe. Notice how shaky your leg is, or maybe you're good at stabilizing. Now bring your right foot down. Shift your weight to your right foot. Lift your left foot just barely off the floor. Just barely, just hovering it about the height of your right foot. And then step down. Straighten your legs, bring your arms down. Okay, you can shake out your shoulders for a moment here. We're bringing the heat today. So the front leg in a lot of the standing poses is this bent knee position. So getting comfortable with chair pose will help you build strength in your standing poses. So we'll do that, a variation of that. One more time, chair pose, Utkatasana. Begin to sit down and back. And for this one, take your hands to your hips. And for those of you that feel like you could do more, you can reach your arms up overhead. It's my phone telling me. Okay, so take a deep inhale here. And as you exhale, you're gonna start to fold toward your legs. And then inhale, lift your chest back up. And exhale, fold back down. Okay, inhale up. Exhale, fold. So if you feel like this is fairly easy, and you can easily keep your knees bending at the same rate. Good, and then inhale, come all the way up into chair pose, reach your arms up. Good, and then stand up. Standing at the top of your mat, as you inhale, reach out and up, come up onto your tippy toes. And then exhale, keep your heels up, but start to bring your butt down, bend your knees. And you're gonna come down as far as you can. Maybe you can come all the way down with your heels up and wrap your arms around your legs. Maybe you're more up here or even hands on hips. Inhale, reach back up, try to keep your heels lifted. Exhale, come back down. Keep your legs squeezing together. Maybe you wrap your arms around your legs, maybe not. Maybe it's just hands to hips. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, this will be the modified version, hands to hips. And you're just trying to stay on your ball of your feet. Inhale, reach back up, last time. Gotta get the calves going. Exhale. Come down. Good, and we're gonna hold here, take a breath. And bring your heels down. Come up through chair, yay. And then stand all the way up. Good, inhale, reach out and up. Bring your palms together overhead and look up. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Press your heart into your thumbs and your thumbs into your heart. Stand tall, take a deep inhale. Bend your knees slightly. As you exhale, step your right foot back. Come onto the ball of your right foot. Inhale, reach your arms up. So many technical difficulties. As you exhale, begin to bend your back knee. Inhale, straighten your back leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. We do one more. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. As you do, come slowly all the way down to the floor. If you need to pad your knee, you can grab something to do that. Put your left hand on your left hip. Keep your right arm up. Inhale, stretch up. And then exhale, side bend to the left. If this stretch feels really good for you, you might bend your left knee even more. Okay. So this is a big stretch for your rectus femoris, one of your quadricep muscles, and your deep hip flexor muscles known as your psoas and iliacus. Take another breath. Okay, reach up and over. So if you've got a chair in front of you to help you stand up, you might reach and grab it, or else hold on to your left thigh, press down to lift your back knee up. Turn your back heel down, turn your back toes out so your back foot is parallel with the back of your mat, front knee over your ankle. Reach your arms out to the side for Warrior 2, look over your front fingertips. So Warrior 2 and all the standing poses are meant to make our legs strong. So if you're just starting yoga, your stance might be fairly short and it might be pretty difficult. But as you get better, you want to take your feet further apart, hoping to someday get your front thigh parallel with the floor. One can hope. Dream big. Most of you are like, isn't this class over yet? Take another breath. Start to straighten your left leg. Inhale here. And as you exhale, side bend to the left. So you bring your hand either to your shin or to the outside of your shin on the floor. And keep reaching your right arm directly up over your shoulder. And take another breath. And then begin to bend your right knee, left knee. Good. And then start to turn your back toes in. Reach your arms up for Warrior One. Warrior One is a little bit of a twist. The right side of your chest turns forward as the left side of your chest peels back. Back foot is diagonal to the back of your mat, front toes straight ahead. Try to pick your pubic bone up a little higher. Gazing straight ahead, soft jaw, soft eyes. Press into your heels, one more breath. Okay, bring your hands down to the inside of your left foot and step back to downward facing dog. And breathe here. Push the floor away from you with your hands. If you need to take a rest now, you could be doing child's pose here or any other pose that you feel like might be good between sides. One more deep inhale and exhale. Okay, inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, pop or step forward. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your butt, look forward. Exhale, keep your sitting bones lifting as you fold over your legs. Keep your knees bent, let your head hang. Inhale, reach out and up as you slowly rise up. Pull your pubic bone up and reach your hands toward the sky. And then as you exhale, stand tall in Tadasana. And bring your hands together in front of your heart. Press your heart into your thumbs and your thumbs into your heart. Bring the tips of your shoulder blades close together. Take a deep inhale here, bend your knees slightly. As you exhale, step your left foot back. Step back far for high lunge. Back heel over the ball of your back foot. Take a deep inhale, stand tall, straighten your back leg. As you exhale, begin to bend your back knee. So we want to keep your right knee directly over your ankle. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. When will this end? Inhale, straighten. Exhale, slowly lower. I'm shaking like a leaf too. Back down to the ground. And grab your blanket or something to put underneath your knee if you need it. Take your right hand to your right hip and stretch your left arm up. Take a deep inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, side bend to the right. Good, and like before, this might be intense enough for you. But if you want to take it further, you can bend your knee more deeply, your front knee, and get deeper into the stretch. I can see that the recording keeps going on and off, and I mean, we're in Port Orford and it's raining outside, so connection is whatever. So there will be a recording of this class if you feel like you are missing anything and you want to take it again. Why would you do something like that? Okay, reach up and over to come out. And either place both hands on your front thigh, or if you've got blocks or a chair to help you lift your back knee off the ground. Turn your back heel down, turn your left toes out, so your back foot is parallel to the back of the mat, getting ready for Warrior Two. Okay, another thing just to say about the stances and the standing poses. One of the ideas is that your ankles are lined up underneath your wrists. So however wide your wrists are, that's how wide your feet are going to be. So if you've got really long arms, sorry, but if you've got short arms and long legs, then you're in it. Good, take another breath. From Warrior Two to Triangle, press off your front heels, straighten your front leg. Take a deep inhale, lift your knees, make your legs strong. And as you exhale, side bend to the right, place your hand on your shin. Or if you can reach the floor, fingertips to the outside of your shin. Turn your chest all the way to the left. Reach your left arm straight up into the sky. Keep re-engaging your legs as you stretch. So that's one of the tenets of yoga, is that as we stretch, we actually engage the muscles. It's not passive stretching. Okay, there is a style of yoga where you passively stretch and you try not to engage anything, and that's called yin yoga. This is not yin yoga. Good. Take another deep inhale and exhale. Okay, start to bend your front knee a little bit, and as you do, turn your back toes in deeply. We're going to come from triangle to warrior one. Turn your chest forward, and in this variation, just keep your hands in line with your shoulders. Reach your arms up. Straight elbows, straight fingers, straight back leg. Front knee bending over your ankle. Turn the left side of your chest more forward, and pull the right side of your chest a little further back. Squeeze your sitting bones towards each other. And take another strong breath in and out. Okay, bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. Once again, either step back to downward facing dog, or if you need a rest, child's pose, or you can even rest laying flat on your tummy. And breathe deeply no matter where you are. Imagine bringing your breath all the way into your upper back. And one more inhale and exhale here. And bend your knees, look forward, and begin to walk toward the top of your mat. Getting ready for our final standing pose. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. I told you you would want to lay on the ground immediately. Exhale, fold. Good, and then inhale, reach out and up as you stand up. Awesome, bring your arms to your sides. Okay, so you might want to turn to the side and stand in the middle of your mat if you have a slippery floor. Take your feet out wide, take your arms out to the side, line your ankles up underneath your wrists. Parallel your feet with the edges of your mat. We're getting ready for Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward bend. This could be a place where you take the chair now and put it out in front of you so you can put your hands on it, or blocks if you have them and need them. Inhale, reach up. Do a little back bend. Bring your hands together, lean back. And then exhale, bend your knees and lift your butt up behind you as you fold forward. Place your fingertips or palms under your shoulders on the floor. Don't bend your elbows, don't lean forward yet. Push into your hands, draw your low ribs in. Try to lengthen from the crown of your head to the tip of your tailbone. And breathe here. Now, if you're here right now and you're like, holy shit, my hamstrings are going to explode, please do not go further into the stretch, because it seems like maybe you're in a deep enough stretch. But if you're here and you feel fairly good and like you could go further, take a deep inhale, everyone, and then exhale, either stay or bend your elbows out to the side and fold more deeply. If you're folding more deeply, really need to rotate your sitting bones up toward the ceiling so your pelvis can tilt forward. If your head is on the ground, you can bring the back of your head to the floor between your feet, or take your feet closer together so your head's not on the ground. If your head's nowhere near the ground, that's probably more common. Take your hands further back if your elbows are very bent, so that your fingertips line up with your toe tips, but don't turn your fingers to point behind you. Keep them pointing forward. See how much more heavy you can make your head. Feel that deep stretch at the back of your legs. Notice if you're leaning really far forward into your toes or really far back into your heels, and balance that out. Don't do too much of either. Step into the pinky side edge of your feet and the ball of your feet a little bit more, and lift your soggy knees. I knew you were not engaging your legs. Take another breath, because I wasn't either. Inhale, lift halfway up, bring your hands back underneath your shoulders with your fingertips or palms of your hands. Good.
now bend your knees a little bit. Turn your toes out. Bring your hands to your thighs. Good. And then press your left leg away from you. Turn your chest to the right. Breathing deeply here. So your legs don't really move. It's just your chest that moves in this twist. Take another deep breath. And then push your right leg away. Turn your chest to the left. Another breath. It's so tempting to make you guys do other exercises from here, but I'm not going to. I'm out of time. Turn your chest forward. Now press off your heels to stand up. Inhale, reach out and up. Bring your palms together overhead, look up. And then exhale, bring your arms to your sides. Good. Toe heel your feet in. And sit down. Take your legs straight out in front of you. We'll do a version of head to knee pose, Janu Shirshasana. Bend your right knee. Pull your right foot in to your left inner thigh. And then take your hands down to the sides of your hips so that you can lift your butt and kind of shove your left foot a little further forward. So your left ankle, knee, and hip are in line. Your left leg isn't out to the side. So it's right in line. Now turn your chest to the right, turning your heart so that it faces your right knee. Place your left hand on your right thigh, lift your right arm up. Okay, stretch up as high as you can. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale, side bend to the left. So the point really isn't to catch your foot here. It's just to get a big stretch in the right side of your waist. If you can easily catch your foot, that's one thing, but if that's all you're trying to do here, then you're kind of missing the point. So just finding that stretch in the side of your waist. Take another deep inhale and exhale. Maybe you could try to turn the left side of your chest more to the right. Might even try to look up to the ceiling. Big breaths. And then reach up and over to help yourself out. And for a moment, just pause and even close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And then turn forward towards your left leg, straighten your right leg. Push your heels forward, flex your toes towards your shin. Now bend your left knee, place your left foot at the inside of your right thigh. And hop your hips forward, push your right foot forward. Your right leg stays engaged. Pull your right toes towards your shin. Turn your chest to the left. Place your right hand on the outside of your left thigh. Lift your left arm straight up, stretch up. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale, side bend to the right. Breathing as deeply as you can. So you want to side bend into this pose as much as you can while still being able to breathe. Okay, turn that left side or right side of your chest more toward the left, and maybe even look up underneath your arm, breathing deeply. The right leg stays active, right toes pulling toward your shin. Another breath here. Reach up and over to come out of the pose. And once again, just sit up. You can place your hands on your thigh, close your eyes, and breathe. And just feel what just happened. Okay, turn to face forward. And take your right foot in, so that now both of your feet are together out in front of you for Baddha Konasana. This might be a pose that you need to sit up on something, like a blanket or two, or maybe if you have yoga blocks, you could sit on that. That'll make it much easier to tilt forward. This will also, if you walk your sitting bones back, your pelvis will start to tilt forward from there. Now, lengthen your knees out to the side, and as you do that, press your outer thighs toward the floor. Inhale, lift your chest and look up. As you exhale, bend your elbows, keep your legs pressing and pulling out to the side as you fold over your thighs.
Let your head hang and your upper back round. Move your shoulders down your back. Fill yourself up with deep inhales and exhales. This is another great pose to see if you can direct your breath into your upper back. Take one more deep inhale and exhale. Lift your head, look forward.
And then slowly sit all the way up. Okay, find your way onto your back. Nice and slow. So we're going to start Shavasana in that same leg position with your knees out to the side and the bottom of your feet together. If you know that's not going to be comfortable for you, you can always just lay flat on the floor or grab blocks or whatever you have, bolsters, blankets, pillows, and place them on either side of your hips so that when your knees go out, your legs will be supported. So either bring the bottom of your feet together and take your knees out wide, or straight legs. So begin Shavasana like this. Rest your arms at your sides and place your hands wherever they will feel the most comfortable. If it's hard for you to do Shavasana, you might try placing something over your eyes, over your chest, or over your pelvis to help you feel more settled. You don't have to close your eyes, just giving our body a chance to digest all the different ways in which we moved it before we go about our day. And let your deep breathing go now. Most of us are pretty aware after yoga class where we tend to build up tension. So just check those places on yourself now as you begin to rest and see if they're resting too. And if not, just invite them to do so. Begin to settle into yourself once more. If you took Baddha legs or the bottom of your feet together, you might stretch out your legs now for the last minute or so.
begin to bring yourself back. If you have more time to just lay here, please do that. Do whatever you want. You can start to bring some movement back to your body. Your body, if you think about bringing movement back to it, might start doing movements of its own. Or you might feel like you're unable to move. Eventually, in the next couple breaths, come up to a seated position, like you had at the beginning of class, or maybe a different position, but a position that you can sit up tall with your eyes closed. Continue to observe yourself and observe your breath. Maybe you can observe a change in your energy from the beginning of class, a shift in your mental, emotional, spiritual state. Notice how your body feels, how your breath is moving now. The standing poses and working with our legs, which have such giant muscles, it requires a lot of effort. And when we put in the effort, we reap the benefits, getting stronger, more aware of ourselves and our ability to stand on our own 2 feet. You can leave your hands as they are or bring them together in front of your heart. If your hands are in front of your heart, press your thumbs into your heart. Everyone lift your heart up. Tuck your chin slightly, bow towards your heart. And we'll conclude with a final Om. Take a deep inhale. Thank you so much, everyone who tuned in today. I can't wait to see your little comments and hearts and things. Thank you for taking my class, babe. I love you.
I love you too.
And namaste.
Namaste.